places, everyone. Everyone, get your place. Gotta learn to beat the system.
You know this world has gone insane. It is absolutely no secret. But tonight, Saturday night, you are about to experience the true measures of what that insanity can bring you. Tonight, you are about to see Bald and Bonkers, the one-of-a-kind show that delves deep into the world with no holds barred. Now, meet your hosts, Dakota Frandsen, specialist of the strange, and Christopher Moule, the UFO fanatic. Now, give it up, and let's see what these two idiots can bring you.
Hey everybody, and welcome to a very special show. We are joined today by Iron City Paranormal. We had to have them back for a second time. And obviously, my lovely co-host Dakota. I had to say that, Dakota. See, I do appreciate you, Dakota. How are you guys? How are you all?
Yeah, we're wonderful. Chris, how are you guys doing?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just watching Derek's camera there. He looks like a spirit and he's starting to form.
It might be. He does have something following him around, and we haven't figured out what it is. So that could be what's behind him right now.
Really? Did you actually?
It's his couch, but we do think that there is something following Derek. Yes.
That's strange. You should say that. I'll talk to you after about that. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's quite. I didn't want to say nothing. But I'll talk to you after about that. So how's everybody in the chat? Who have we all got there, Dakota?
Oh, let's see. We got Dobby Stuck. We have Paranormal World Investigators. Then we have some weird Bald and Bonkers Network. Who are those guys?
They're weird.
Ken. I don't know who they could be. I don't know who they could be.
Yeah, one
but
never
listen,
shuts
guys,
up.
We've got a couple of comments for the end of the show, which we'll keep to the end of the show. But there's some links in the chat we want you to have a wee quick look at. Dakota, would you like to say about the links in the chat?
Yes, for some of you who are either on the Facebook side of things or on YouTube, you may see links to a Ukraine-based charity.
Yeah.
My friend Chris here would like to mention a few more words since he was too lazy to do it last night.
If you want, I'll do it now. I would just like you guys. We're doing like a charity event. We're trying to get some money together for what's happening in Ukraine. What's happening over there right now is I've not really got words for it. Well, I have got words for it, but I'd probably be banned off of YouTube if I did say what's happening over there now with the civilians and the children and innocent people are getting murdered by a madman. Let's just put it that way. And we all know who he is, Mr. Putin. So, guys, we're doing like a charity event. The Smith Family Paranormal, we're doing like an auction off a crystal. The starting bid's £25 or $25. But we've also got some links in the chat for if you want to donate to a Ukrainian-based charity to help children, obviously from war zones. What do you think of that, Dakota?
Yes, definitely. The main thing that's been a subject of concern when it comes to these charity things is that there's, I'm just going to say it. There's a lot of assholes trying to profit off of this mess, and that's not right. So we're trying to look into every option to get the funds directly to the people who need it more.
Yeah. One thing before I jump onto the interview, I'm just going to say, guys, we really need to help these people in Ukraine. Can you imagine if that had to come to the United States or come to the United Kingdom? Can you imagine? Can you imagine that in your town, your city, your village? What these people are experiencing? I mean, I watched it last night, and I mean, it's happening right now. I was watching it just before the live. I can't help myself. I had to watch it live, and I've never seen anything that scale since old films from World War II. So, guys, please, in your prayers tonight, let's think about the Ukrainians, the kids, the innocent people, and the soldiers too that are trying to protect their country. Right? Anyway, guys, well, shall we start the interview and get on to something more interesting, like spooky spirits from beyond?
Yes, we were trying to go for it, and you kept yapping before the show until Facebook started saying we need to go live.
I know. But see, this is what I have to put up with, guy Dan. This is what I have to put up with this year. Terrible,
You're the one wanting me to take the reins on this bitch.
Right, I tell you what. Tell us about your investigation. Tell us about Dakota.
Yes.
Please do ask the first question. Tell us about the investigation because you were there. I was there. I was
Well, no, I wasn't there. I was still sitting here in my PJs and knocking my own camera over.
I thought you were going to say something else there.
That was probably the
no,
scariest
Daniel was
part.
getting plenty of that.
Yeah, that's true. That was probably the scariest part was Dakota sitting in his pajamas while we were trying to do a paranormal investigation.
Yeah, at least there was something on.
Hey, we had something to watch. Just recently we did conduct a repeat investigation of the After Hours Tattoo Studio in Mars, Pennsylvania, just north of Pittsburgh. And luckily, since you were sound asleep in bed, Chris, Dakota was able to join us to try kind of give us some really good support from the spirit world, and was able to tap into some things that we weren't picking up all fully on our equipment. So it was a good investigation, and that having Dakota there kind of added a whole new level of interest to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And let's just say, based on some of the findings they showed us so far, once again, the second Dakota gets involved, things get weird. So those of you who are on the audio version of the podcast, find one of our video channels so that way you can actually see what we're talking about here.
I mean, Dakota shared with me, he's actually shared with me 2 videos. One was a thermal. And I was sitting there and was like, oh my God. I mean, you can see something walking. It's as if it's like looking at you. I don't know, you're bent over, you're doing something. What were you on, like taking video or something? What were you actually doing?
So the giant red blob in that video was me.
Yeah.
It looks like a thermal image of a Mr. Potato Head right in the middle of the screen. But that was me. For some reason, I felt compelled to go over into that corner by myself in the basement. I had Dakota with me on my cell phone, and something was pulling me over in that direction. So I had asked Derek and John and the other person that was there with us to kind of hang back and let me go by myself over towards that corner. And while I was, kind of like just kneeling on the ground, just trying to, one, be lazy, and two, kind of like get in tune with whatever.
I was doing what I do best, and I just kind of hung back and recorded.
Yeah, so Dakota was actually saying when we first got into that basement that there was something or some people walking around me, and that they were kind of they were interested in me, and they were moving around.
Well, honestly.
And when we got the thermal camera out, maybe 20 minutes later after Dakota said that, that's where that thermal video comes across, where you can see whatever that was encircling me.
I watched that. Yeah. I must have watched that over 100 times. I mean, I was like, my God. You can see it's as if it's like an elderly person walking extremely slowly. It's weird. It's one of those weird things I've ever seen in my entire life.
I have never seen anything like that. And if anybody has a way to try to debunk it, please let me know.
Can we play it?
Sure.
Can we play it? Can we play it on here for everybody?
Well, I don't really see a problem with it. You guys had the footage loaded up on your end?
Derek, do you have that up?
Because honestly, guys, listen to this in the podcast. You need to come to the YouTube channel and you need to subscribe and you need to see this, because I was watching it last night. I was like, I was actually showing it to somebody. I was just seen this, and they're like, it's amazing.
Dan, if you want to share the screen, it's in the after hours order.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now.
Yeah, it'll be up shortly.
Okay,
I apologize. I wasn't.
Yeah, Drew, don't worry about that. I was just gonna say, Drew, don't worry about that. He's just having green screen issues.
Yes, he's not crossing over, so don't worry.
Oh, that'd be a hell of a show.
Yeah, no, we don't want you to lose viewers.
Who else that Dybbuk Box is gonna play with?
It's Basement Video 1, Derek.
I'm really looking forward to seeing this again.
Yeah,
it's
that's it.
It's one of those videos that you just keep watching over and over.
Okay, so let me figure out how to share screens here. There it is.
Guys, you're in for a treat in the chat. And for those people in the podcast, come and watch the video. You'll be blown away.
Oh, yes.
You will one day be blown away once I figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
I'm not dating anymore.
You're the John Mayer song.
Fine. It's fine. Just take your time. Imagine yourself in a happy place, you know.
Yeah, I'm panicking here.
Chris, don't start announcing your. Don't announce your. I can't even fucking. Never mind. Oh, there we go.
Okay. So again, set the scene. This in front of me, the green line coming down. Is a post in the basement. This giant red blob that looks like Mr. Potato Head is me. So this is a FLIR camera. This is whenever Dakota was picking up that something or people were, walking around me. So this is the video here.
Wow.
So the interesting thing to note is if it was something with the camera itself, you would expect that line to go all the way across me. Like if it was cycling through some sort of, stage in the camera or whatever, this whatever it is takes several paths. It goes across, stops, and comes back. And it also does not go fully head to toe. So it's not like I do not see any potential for there to be.
Yeah, you can actually still see your head above it whenever it's moving.
That's what I was, yeah.
Yeah, I was noticing that it kind of looks like somebody is trying to see what's going on in your hand. It's trying to get a look at me through the phone, trying to figure out what we were doing.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting. That's what every time I watch it, it's as if it's like someone trying to see what you're using.
Yeah, I see in the chat, Drew's paranormal vlog looks like someone sitting reading. Yeah, that's me in that video. And you can see the shorter something walking in front of me.
Yeah, he's squatting down low, holding me in his hand.
Give it wrong to go. Oh my God, guys! Honestly, I can't take you anywhere.
Oh God!
But can you not see when it walks past? Can you not see as if it's got its hands, its arms down? Can you see? Can you play it again? Because it looks like it's got its hands and its arms down. You'll see them for a split second. See them? See the hands kind of moving?
Mm-hmm.
You see it?
Yeah. It does kind of look like there's a little bit distortion where somebody's hands would be resting.
Yes.
Like I said, if anybody has any idea of what could normally cause this, please share, because I have never seen anything like this.
I know. I think it's one of the best thermal images that I've ever seen.
I mean, it's just the distortion itself in the thermal that we're looking at here, and it's just, we actually saw this on the spot when it was happening, and I kind of just sat there and recorded it. So
yeah,
to see it live as they're interacting, you know, we're just kind of dumbfounded at what this could have been.
It's
Yeah, and that's where Derek and I make a good team with this kind of stuff, because I did not know that he was picking this up. He keeps his calm enough, even though he's seeing things on the camera where he's not, causing this big disturbance and interrupting the investigation. He'll point these things out to me after the fact, obviously, but here in the moment, I didn't know any of this was happening.
If you notice too, I've just noticed it the new year. You notice that the figure, whatever it is, see at the very bottom of the floor, it's like casting a slight shadow. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I didn't even.
To
be honest,
along.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah,
it's as if it's casting its own shadow. That's amazing. Honestly, that is one of the best. I'm blown away with that. What do you guys in the chat think about that, guys? Because
I don't know.
It's amazing how it's casting its own shadow, because when it starts to walk, when it gets in the middle of you, you can see a very, very faint greenish shadow running out, a kind of darker green than the rest of the green. And that's obviously whatever it is, it's got the ability to cast.
Kind of odd with this whole distortion thing is some of the photos that we took later on also looked distorted, very similar to this, and we captured them in different kind of different motions. So you can, it's very similar to this, but in a still photography setting where a lot of things were lit by a reddish tone. You can actually see distortion in the in the photo, like next to Dan, and then all of a sudden in front of him, and then off to the side. And we can show those as well. I'll point you in the right direction if you want to go there, Dan. But the distortion itself is just very odd to us. I mean, we've heard things before about when you pull in the energy, it will change the environment around you. So is that what we're seeing here? Is that it's pulling some sort of energy in and it's actually distorting the viewpoint? I don't know.
I'm just blown away with it. It's when you go to class. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I honestly can't think of someone who's in the Bald and Bonkers Facebook group. We can't see by the way, guys, we can't see your name if you're watching this through the Facebook group. It's just something on StreamYards, and they're pointing out maybe it's some sort of different gases because this is a basement. I honestly don't know. You would think there'd be a bit more freeform to it than what looks like. I was getting more like a curious child.
Well, and that's
so if it were gases like that, I don't think it wouldn't be moving side to side. It would be very stationary and almost an upward motion. In my opinion, I don't know what this could be. So
you can see it's got arms, and if you look at it really closely, you can see if you pause it there. Right, if you look just at the back of your head where you're kneeling down, you can just see it coming down. You can see you can see its arms and you can see its hand. You can just see it move for the split millisecond.
Like about there.
Yeah. You see its hand. You can see it. It just moves out for the split second, then moves back in. It's as if it's walking extremely slowly, and it's very curious with what you're doing.
And it was interesting that Dakota mentioned the child thing, because we do think that on both times we've investigated this location, we do believe we have contacted specifically in this basement. And we did not have anything recording the first time we were there when we first got into the basement. But myself, Derek, and John, the owner, we all audibly heard, without any kind of equipment, we heard a small girl say hey to us to get our attention right when we walked down. And, ever since that instance, we we were getting some interactions with a small child. We feel possibly a little girl in that basement.
Yeah.
And we asked her to come back to the tattoo shop with us to continue the conversation. And she also showed up over there, which gets to Derek's point with, a constant or like available path for them to go between the buildings in that area as well. So we do feel that there was a younger girl there. I don't know how short, but the baby penguin, yes, that is me.
It does look. It does look like a young girl, a young person, around about the ages of what I would say 8 or 7, 8.
Well, that's the thing. When I was on the phone with him, I was hearing what sounded like a child trying to talk. They say, "We can't come out. We can't speak." They were afraid. You could tell that right from the voice, and it was clear as day. I wish I had something trying to record the call so I could play it back for the guys, but
Wow, amazing! I just can't get away with it. I just find it so damn fascinating. I would say that's one of the best captures I've ever seen. Would you think, Dakota? Would you say it was one of the best?
it's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
And by the way, Lisa, our friend Lisa, who is a medium, is watching through the Facebook group.
Oh, is that right?
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. So, what other amazing photographs and video do you have for us, guys? I'm all excited now.
So I want to I would like to show these pictures that we caught that same night. With it shows that continuation of that distortion in that basement area. Once I figure out how to unshare
Basement
this
3
screen
and
yeah, I found the pictures. I just don't know how to unshare the video now.
You just take the video down. I can take the video down for you if you want. Remove the video.
Yeah, take that video down for me, and then I can. Awesome.
There you
go. Okay, and then I'll share screen. I'm gonna share screen.
So I've managed to get through a lot of the photos, kind of analyzing them, going over them. I'm working on the recordings now. And I've actually heard quite a few whispers in our recordings. I haven't been able to dig any deeper than that at the moment, but they do coincide with some of Dakota's what he was hearing and feeling at the time.
Mm-hmm. So this is on the opposite corner of the basement, and what we wanted to point out. So this is me sitting sitting on the steps here. To my right in the video, so left in the picture. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Okay, so right in this area, see where there's like this slight distortion to the objects that were in that area. This is 3 pictures in fairly quick succession. So there's this immediate, like that original distortion. And then you can actually see that I am looking towards this area because I felt like there was something to my right. And in this picture, there is this pink anomaly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again, it looks relatively the same height as that figure that was walking in front of me in the thermal. And then there's this picture as well. So like you see that there is the distortion slightly, but that pink anomaly was there for
that pink thing. That's weird. That it's is it? You see that, Dakota? What's your opinion on that?
I don't know.
I mean, you can see it as if it's glowing. I mean, it's
correct.
Is that a face? Is there any way zooming up one more on that?
Mm-hmm. Enhance.
Enhance on the pants.
Enhance.
That's weird. What is that pink thing? That's
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Oh,
a strange one, guys. Oh man, I don't even know where you guys are investigating these videos. I pick up head trauma.
there were some nasty things.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was picking up that somebody got sexually assaulted. And don't ask, I can't really go into detail on what I was feeling without worrying about getting us banned off of social media.
Oh, was it that extreme?
Yeah, no, it was that bad. Like,
Yeah, I felt things a man shouldn't be able to feel.
Really?
I'm just mystified at that. I just don't know what that could possibly be.
Dan, can you go back to the last pic, kind of zoom in that same area?
Yeah. There we go. Which one do you want? The one before or the one after? Doesn't matter. They're kind of the same thing.
The one before. Yeah, it should all be the same.
Because originally,
yeah,
I thought that could have been. I really don't know what that could have been, to be honest with you. It just the height comparison is what gets me to that anomaly that was walking in the thermal, or that was crossing in front of me.
Out of curiosity, are you wearing like a mask or something?
No, that's my face over my mouth.
I was just
face over your mouth. Okay,
I'm sorry,
Excuse
me. That's my hand over my mouth.
What kind of Texas Chainsaw Massacre are we hosting here?
Oh my god! I was like, what's that all about? Because I was for a second there, I thought it was a spirit or something that was putting its hand around. Oh my god!
I mean, yeah.
But now, Dan, if you go up in this picture. If you can move it around, go up to that corner. This is actually the one we got the eyes in.
Ooh.
This right here.
That is the moment that Dakota felt eyes almost peering out of the corner. And I don't know exactly what those are, but they're not in the other two pictures. I took 3 back to back to back. So what that could be, I don't know. Maybe that's what Dakota was picking up on. But if you go to the other photos,
what was that, Chris?
I'm just saying I can see pipes, and obviously they're illuminated slightly. The pipes are either they're wire conduits or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if Lisa's still in the chat though. But I sense something in there. I don't know if it is. It's as if something's just.
I believe
they're watching you.
I believe those are lights, actually, like the hanging lights that you're seeing. Right. So they kind of end there. Yeah. Just from what I recall. And if you go, I want to say go to picture 5 in this series, and it's the same. There's still nothing here.
This guy here.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very possible that there was it's possible there was some kind of reflection or something, but being that I took these back to back, you would have seen it in all 3 of them. At the same time, what really drew me into that picture was Dakota almost that simultaneously said something to Dan, and I could hear it in the recordings that he made mention of eyes kind of peering on from the distance. Yeah. So again, that's just me kind of putting things together a little bit. I didn't hear that at the time. That's one of the more intriguing things about this. Is Dan was over there, I was back taking pictures. I couldn't hear what Dakota was saying. Luckily, the recorder was close enough by that I could hear it in the playback. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's another one. It's an anomaly.
It's it definitely is an
I don't
anomaly. I
know.
mean, it's weird because I'm drawing it where the wall is right next to where you're sitting there. I don't know. There's just something. It's as if it's standing watching. Yeah, you see
That was the
you
only
see where
one
the
Dan,
shadow.
that there was. That's
You see where the kind of shadow goes into the cinder block. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah, there.
Here?
No, over the other side. Where the eyes, where you thought the eyes were.
Over here.
It's as if, I don't know if Lisa's still
Oh,
there
I
or
see-
not.
I see what you're
It was like
saying.
something. It's as if there's something just standing. It's darker than it. It's as if there's something there. There's
so.
Facebook
Dan,
used
go back to the FLIR photos. When Dan was standing in this area early on, John was standing with me, and just click through some of those basement photos, the first few, like 1, 2, 3, 4. We thought we saw something dark, but it started moving.
I didn't know
So
you got these pictures because you were saying that, but I didn't know that we had snapped pictures at that time. So
These were the ones that I was taking when I was talking about that. This is the same area.
So this
Dan's
area.
basically standing here instead of sitting, and there's this dark spot on that side that we thought looked like an outline of a person. You can click through them, Dan. There's like maybe 4 or 5 even that I took. And it really wasn't moving, but this is very similar, very, very close to that same time frame when Dakota was hearing all these things. So that's that kind of dark black mass that we were seeing there, and then you get to you keep moving on. But
see it.
I kind of wanted to write this off as just being kind of a colder spot of the room, but then you combine it with those other photos. I don't know, man. Maybe there was something in that corner that was really looking out and that was drawn to Dan at that point. I don't know. Again, we're always open to interpretations from everybody. I mean, we like to hear feedback.
Tell us if we're seeing things because we're doing this. I mean, we need that extra set of eyes.
Exactly. We don't want that false sense at all. I mean, that defeats the purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that? Lisa posted something in the chat there. What was that she posted?
We have
Maybe
Lisa
an
and
attachment.
Samuel going through that way. So
I think she said maybe there's an attachment. That's quite strange. You said that there's kind of an attachment.
it's the debug box.
I'm telling you what.
No.
I don't like that thing. I haven't liked it since day one, and that is always a concern of mine.
There's the Facebook user. Is there another room off in that direction?
There is an entryway back behind me.
That direction over there, almost where that darkness is under the staircase. There is another small entry that goes actually back. If you're looking at this photo, it's kind of back to the left, behind where Dan's standing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your Dobby makes a very interesting point. Could that be a shadow? Because it does have a very similar figure to Dan. The thing is, if it was a shadow or anything like that, especially where it's a thermal, it would come up a little bit brighter, closer to maybe a bluish green color if that was coming off of Dan.
You're right. You're right, because
we've
we've actually done that before. We've kind of gone through those motions before where we thought we saw something, but it was like 100% a reflection. And we have photos to kind of, prove that, and something that we can look at and say, no, you know what, we've seen this before. This is a reflection. This is a window or whatever. But that right there is just kind of an opening.
You know what that looks like? I'll tell you after the show, because I know the history of the location. It looks like something that I've seen, and you know what it looks like. It's as if it's wearing a cloak and a pointy hat.
Oh, crap.
Think about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Think about it. Think about it. No, honestly, look at it. Look at it. Right? It's as if it's got a pointy hat. Think about it. robes, pointy hat,
Yeah, I can kind of
didn't-
see
and it's
where.
like a gown.
About
And it's
that.
kind of gown, and it's kind of like a gown. You see what
Yeah,
I'm
it
trying to
sounds like
say?
some of my relatives.
I don't want to say it on here, but it's like a you know how they wear them, and then it's a pointed hat cover, but it's just it's weird because when you change it, it turns.
Yep.
Catholic monk, not no.
Quite the opposite.
Yeah, no,
No.
that's,
Yeah, no.
we don't really
No.
want to go into that too much. But
Nah,
yeah,
Let's
we'll-
just
exactly.
say
off
they
that.
are not so. Let's just say they are not very crazy cool kids. I don't know. That was lame. That was lame.
the crazy cool kids show. Oh god,
Oh,
it is fascinating. They are amazing photography. Honestly, they are. I mean, what back of the building was this in? What section of the building was this?
This was in the basement of the barber shop.
Right. Just wondering. Because
you'd think Dan's beer gut would probably have a hotter thermal signature instead of making him
I'm-
look like he's levitating.
You know what? I was just thinking how unattractive I am in thermal images. It's unbelievable.
it's weird because it's as if it's like looking towards you, side on. But in the next photo, as if it's turns, and then the next photo, and it's like it's looking straight on. See how it moves? See how it's turning round? Yep. It's as if it's like leaning against the wall, minding its own thing. It doesn't think you know it can see it. And then when you start snapping the photos, it actually starts to turn round.
So
Guys
that's
in the
one of
podcast,
those
check this out.
moments where it was John and I that were standing there actually taking these. John was kind of looking over my shoulder and he was like, that can't be anything, right? And I'm thinking, well, it's moving a little bit. So
Yeah.
maybe it is, maybe whatever it is was like it to me, it just seems like it is starting to move a little. And then again,
Yeah.
you combine it with those pictures and it really makes you think like maybe there is something back in that.
Yeah,
I will
But again,
personally want to move on from these pictures because like this is concerning me the way I look in these pictures.
I'm sorry. I just,
What about the video?
oh my
Oh my
god, very
God.
warm down
I-
below there.
I mean, like I don't like. It looks like I skipped.
Yeah,
leg
the
day in
space
these
between your
pictures.
and the space between your legs looks awfully hot there, Dan.
I'm
Oh,
telling
dear.
you what, like I do really love ghost hunting. I can't deny that.
Oh my god, this
Sorry,
is for
guys.
adults only, everyone. Must put out that disclaimer, you know.
We're turning this
yeah.
stream into an OnlyFans.
Very interesting, guys. Honestly, amazing.
Probably be
amazing.
making more money.
Oh my, I don't think so. Look at me.
It is weird how that section is warmer than the rest. Oh my god.
There's no
Sometimes
denying
you just
it.
don't know.
You can't hide from the thermal. I'll tell you what.
Oh,
Did you say you caught some like stick figure images?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
SLS.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
SLS.
Yeah, if you go to
That
the
was
cell
probably the
phone-
most interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a few sensitives in here I
Absolutely.
told about that catch that might want to see that.
Yeah, you could probably honestly just start at the beginning and flip through them because it was like one after another. And what was actually cool is I did upload some of that that we tried to debunk by going into a different room with the very same exact chair to make sure it wasn't just mapping a chair. So you'll see something that looks like the chair without the figure in it. I wanted to make sure that the SLS just wasn't, picking up the chair at that point.
And might I point out that
Yeah.
between the legs on this SLS figure, that is where the computer was sitting that actually was streaming Dakota into the investigation.
Being felt up by a ghost through a computer.
Yes.
Can you imagine what Patrick Swayze could do with that?
And
Now,
yeah,
Dakota, you
and
have to tell them about your fantasies now.
I'll tell you what. And we to Derek's point on the mapping, the chair possibility, this did not map until Dakota had mentioned that there was a young girl that was being held back by a larger, darker figure.
Yeah.
That is when we had started talking and told the spirit, that it was safe to come out, that we were there for good, that we were trying to find out about her, and that she could use Dakota in order to communicate with us. And that is when this figure showed up in the chair. Was right after that.
Fascinating. It is fascinating how that camera actually works, how it actually maps out the figures.
Yeah, you have to be careful with it. Like Derek said, it can map shapes.
We've had that happen before where we've actually it's intentionally mapped like a chair, just a fold out chair. It'll just map that because that's its job. It's supposed to find things and map it out. So we've had to be careful with these kinds of things before, and debunking these things is one of the major parts of it because of that. And we've personally experienced that where we thought that we had something and it was just mapping an inanimate object.
What have I always found so interesting? All these ghost hunting shows, when they're doing like a video of the whatever it is, the spirit, or they're mapping it out, you get very, very small ones. You ever noticed that? And you must think to yourself, my God, what is that? It's so small. I mean, what could it possibly map out like a human, but so small? And it makes you think. What could that possibly be? I mean, it's as if it's like sitting in the chair, or it's like.
Yeah, so this is when it first started to map figures in that room, and whenever we
just want to click through a few of them, and you can kind of give everybody an idea of the movement of it too.
Yeah, so there's the two of the actual chair, with potentially the little girl sitting. But when we continued to press this little girl, trying to get something out of her, that is when this figure started to come around, which is you can tell it's a standing figure, and it's much larger. And you can kind of see in this picture, and Derek pointed out that this actually looks like, a figure leaning with its arm up on the chair. So that's, and when he started catching this figure, this larger figure, that's when I obviously didn't know he was getting this. Again, he doesn't yell and scream and tell me that he's catching something. I had actually asked Derek, because I am sitting like off to the right, which actually would be over here. Because that camera
you'll see you later on with a few of them.
Okay. So that is when I started to feel that, get that feeling that there was a presence behind me. And that's when I asked Derek, I'm like, are you picking anything up on the camera? Because I could just feel that this larger entity was standing behind me and was like kind of like, looming over me, to the point where I got very uncomfortable with that entity, and had actually demanded that I had asserted myself towards it and said, you do not have control of me. I'm not this little girl that you used to control. I said, I am a free spirit.
Yeah.
I do not give you permission to interact with me in any way. And that is when the figure disappeared. and we did not pick it up again in this room.
You can see how big it is. I mean, that's ridiculously. It's like the small one was in the chair, and then it's obviously noticed. It's thought it's actually quite scary. That when you think of what that actually looks like, obviously we can't see it in spirit form, but it makes you wonder what it actually looks like, which is quite terrifying in a way. What's your thoughts, Dakota?
I honestly don't know what to think of this. I'm looking through on a bigger screen right now to watch it. I know Drew was trying to suggest a little something. No, I was right about just before Dan was starting to get the feeling that something was there. For me, when I start going into channeling modes, when I start really going deep, you know how you sometimes have those superhero movies, a guy that teleports, you kind of see everything kind of vibrate around him, then poof, he's gone. Get that sensation in my body, and it was intense, like something was trying to get my attention through the computer, and that he caught it on SLS like that. That's the first time I did. Yeah.
We could tell that you were kind of going to that place and getting there, and that's when you started even saying something along the lines of that it was trying to manipulate and figure out how to use electronic devices, where you could start hearing it just on your end and you could start feeling it just on your end, not our end. That's actually right after it disappeared out of that camera.
It's I don't know what it is, but when I first seen the small one, you could obviously tell it's like a childlike entity. But I don't know what it is. I'm just getting a really weird vibe off the big one. I don't know what it is. It's something I don't know. No nice.
Yeah, I was getting a very, very weird feeling from that taller entity. And now I just read a comment from Drew's Paranormal in the comment. Is it scary to think it's holding her? That makes it even more terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, because we do feel that larger figure behind the chair was what was, you know, suppressing that younger girl spirit, possibly because she could kind of be pointing out something that possibly he did to her, or who knows. You know, that's kind of the feeling that we got out of it, at least.
Did you hear that? Yeah, I thought I heard somebody going, "Shh."
I
was hearing that.
I did notice something, and I didn't want to say something about that.
I was feeling something trying to come through when we were going before the show.
Yeah, it was weird because I've got the headphones on, and you're in the middle of when you were speaking there. It was like, shh. That's what it was like.
That's why I busted out my good headphones, because I was feeling something trying to. I was like, we're gonna have an interesting show again. I better prepare myself.
Yeah, I heard a few things during the show. I've heard like weird noises, and they've just been weird. It's just like, as if for a second I thought I heard whistling. I thought I heard whistling at the start of the show, just like maybe 2 minutes in, 3 minutes in.
Well, you're going through major world crisis, and certain ones we know of like to pop up, especially around there.
Yep. It's quite interesting. It shows you how it's leaning against the chair, and then the big one comes in, and it just disappears. And it gets bigger, and it gets bigger, and it gets bigger. As if it's like, what are you doing here? Go away, kind of thing. I mean, I'm the boss. What do you think, guys, in the chat?
I think this picture here with its longer, I mean, obviously it's a little distorted of a picture, but I'm sitting fairly close to where this potential arm is reaching. And that's whenever I said enough is enough. You know, I had to, you know, kind of stand my ground a little bit, just because you know, we were joking in the moment that he was, you know, doing things to me, but I'll be perfectly honest with you. I mean, I haven't been, you know, that hesitant during an investigation in quite some time as I was in that moment.
It's quite interesting. What do you go to call, sir?
No, I was just going to say, honestly, I was kind of getting the impression that when we were starting to joke around, he was like, "All right, if you insist."
Mhm.
But then as you start yelling off at it, it was getting pissed at you, man. It was wanting to hurt you.
Great.
I find it fascinating how its arms really long. Do you not find that? And it's like bent down. It's as if it's like putting its hands against the wall and it's like looking up at you.
It's
As like
actually
an intimidation.
it's kind of interesting because if you combine this one to our first investigation, we actually caught a very similar looking, very tall figure out in the entryway. That was, I don't want to say mimicking the owner, but he was standing there kind of right next to him. It was mapping her and then it was mapping him. This thing, whatever it may be. I don't think it's in our drive anymore, Dan. It's on our website.
Okay.
If you want to plug
Go to our
that,
website.
Yes, guys, go to their website.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Go to our website.
You can
and follow
definitely
us on
see
Instagram.
You can see a very similar comparison to both of them, as if it's the same figure, that tall figure that's almost watching over, controlling whoever these other younger people may be.
I think it's controlling that whole block, whatever it is. I think it's the
I
boss.
believe it.
It's the It's
And I believe from the tattoo artist's perspective, the ones that are in that building more than anybody, this room specifically is the one that they see. Not only the tattoo artist, but the clients as well have seen this dark figure walking between the mirrors along the wall in this room. They have not noticed it. There's only 2 rooms in this shop. It's the one that we are picturing here. And then there's one right next door to it. And then there's the main entryway, but this is the room where that tall, dark figure is seen most often out of any of the rooms in the shop.
Well, at the same time, this is also where the mirrors, this room is basically covered in mirrors. And if you go out in the hallway that it's right off of, there's also this little nook that has 3 mirrors in it as well.
Yeah.
So the entire area, if you think about the mirrors being kind of entryways, portals,
that's what I was just about to say. Yeah,
it's a perfect spot for that to say.
Yeah. And what I noticed the last time we had you on and you were in the tattoo shop where you were sitting, I thought there was like a doorway, and there was a doorway there at one point. It just makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Obviously, a spirit's a spirit. It's walking in between the buildings. It can go anywhere it wants. But it's strange.
The owner's still blown away by that, by the way.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yeah, I see a lot of things.
I do think that I took a photo of that area in this folder, Dan. If you want to pull that up, I was just like snapping some pictures, and I think it's in the still photos if you want, or maybe even cell photos. I'm not sure which. I think still, but either way, yeah, you picked that up, and as soon as you picked that up, I think his eyes got wide.
It's next to the Coca-Cola sign. That's what I
mean,
remember. It's next to the. There, it's there. It's next.
Yeah,
to the
it is. It is. Yeah, this is the area right here.
There's a door there. I can see a door there. I can see an old brownish rustic door. Right there. Yeah.
Yeah, he said this right here is where the door was.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes you wonder. It just. Obviously, spirits can, because you've heard the hauntings in houses where they've bricked up a doorway or a stairway and the spirits still walk up and down it. So it's obviously still coming through there. To them, there's a door there. So
and it's actually kind of funny in this picture. You can see this is an eBay Dybbuk box that Derek had that had opened itself from being taken around all over the place.
What was inside it? Out of curiosity, what was inside it?
There was an old nail, and there was a little vial of dirt, and there was a crystal.
There was a crystal, yeah.
I would get rid of it if I was.
I actually like keeping that on me, so if somebody asks about the other one, we can be like, "Here, look at this this one.
Here, take this ghost home with you.
Aye, send it to Dakota. He likes ghosts. He'll be fine.
Oh my! I'll tell you what. This,
Hey,
I'm-
leave my
this
kids out of this.
Seriously, I'm trying to see if you can see your other one in this picture, Derek. I think you should be able to.
I think I
You
left
must
it
have
on that
missed it.
table, didn't I?
Okay. Oh, I think it's right there.
Why do you buy divot
I mean, I
box?
can go get it if you want me to. It's upstairs.
No. So Derek, the first one, the one that I do
You love
think is
telling this.
real. Yeah, I do, because I think that it is not something we should be messing with. But Derek messaged me one day. This was shortly after we got involved with, ghost hunting and paranormal stuff, and we had created the team and everything else.
Yeah.
Derek is known as the ghost hunter now with his peers that he was working with at the time. And this woman that he used to work with, her son had tragically passed away unexpectedly. And our understanding is that he was into the dark kind of interests, the occult, those kinds of things. Yeah. We don't know to what level, but the mother was going through his bedroom after he had passed, and she found this box that was sealed with wax. She had no idea what it was. She just said, "This thing's creepy," and she took it to Derek instead of throwing it away. She took it to Derek at work and said, "Hey, I found this in my son's room. Do you want it?" So Derek didn't know what it was. He saw it as being a creepy little box. So he took it. He took it back with him and sent me a picture that day on his cell phone. He's like, "Hey, dude, look at this creepy box that I got at work." And I'm like, "Derek, holy shit, do you know anything about what that is?" And he's like, "Oh, no, it was just a woman that I work with gave it to me." And I said, "Dude, that's a Dybbuk box." I'm like, "Why the hell did you take that?" And he's like, "What's a Dybbuk box?" And we had to talk about it. But so I do think that there's something to that one. Yeah. Versus the one that was open on the counter. One? I mean, who knows, right? But I think that there's more potential for credibility to the one that somebody found, without any, advertisement to it, just found it in a room and said, "This is creepy. Do you want it?" Versus somebody that went on the eBay and found a $50 Dybbuk box for sale. You could recreate. Well,
since then I've been collecting things that from places that we've gone. I mean, I have that railroad tie. I have that whatever that chicken is. I mean,
yeah. There's Drew's paranormal vlog saying, "Was there a burnt candle?"
I don't think so.
That's interesting. As the remains of a spell, either a hex or an anti-hex candle color will be important, and what the signs are. There you go. So when's your next investigation, guys? When are
next
you going?
Month.
Yeah. Where are you going?
It's actually a small shop close by. It's in an antique shop. And we've actually got a few of these kind of things lined up. We have a museum also lined up for a couple months from now. Yeah. But it's actually very interesting looking into the individual pieces that may have something attached to it.
It makes you think. I mean, if you have something off the Titanic, it makes you think: is there energy attached to that, or things that, especially you and your divot boxes? I don't know how you could. I don't know how you could have one of them. I wouldn't go there. If I had one of them, I'd send it to Dakota because he likes that kind of thing.
Go ahead. I've had possessed dolls that I've taken from investigation
all coming
sites.
out.
They're like, "Please, Dakota, get this out of
It's-
here." Ironically, the
it's-
spirit attached was also named Dakota, so that was a little weird.
See,
You're
Dakota
hearing it
gets
because
it. I
Dakota,
keep it
guys,
off
is
the
his own
street.
doll.
You know, it's like guns and drugs. I keep it.
I must admit, I'm blown away with that thermal image, that thermal video. I just, it's replaying in my mind over and over, right? And it's one of them. It's like it is like a child. It is the same, and it's as if they're highly curious about what that is. And then you've got the photo of the silhouette pointing, and that's, you can tell it's like in the three photos it like turns and it looks and it turns straight on. It is. I must admit, guys, you've done extremely well. And guys in the chat and guys in the podcast, please go to the channel and give them a subscribe. What's your website, guys? What's your name of your website? Iron City Paranormal.
Yeah, so our website is Iron City Paranormal. Derek puts a lot of effort into that, from not only the investigations themselves, but the locations. So before we do any investigation, Derek will go in, look up the history of the location, do a very extensive write-up on the information that he can find through talking to the people that run the location, as well as things that he finds online. So he will put those full write-ups of the history of the location up prior to the investigation. And then after the investigation, probably about Derek, like 2 weeks after, he will post all of the...
I'll try to share things every like a week to almost up to 3 weeks after an investigation, asking for people's opinions, what they see, what they hear, and all of this we kind of put together into our like a report or write up, and we'll actually send the owners of the of each location a little bit of a write up itself, along with pictures that we find. Obviously, you can't send recordings, but we'll direct them to our site and to anything that we find we put up there. We try to debunk things first, and we'll put that as well. We'll say we heard this, we saw this when we were there, and this is actually what it is. We kind of dug into it and we tried to see what it was. So it's not, not everything that you see is paranormal. There's an explanation to some of these things, and that's where we look. We ask for other people's opinions there too.
That's weird. That I heard that. Shh, again there.
Did you?
I don't know if that's one of you has got an attachment. I don't know what one it is, but one of you has got one.
Yeah, it's probably me, if anything.
It's something's fooling you. Something's fooling you. I think you've picked up a guest.
It's this one over there.
Yeah.
Well,
this is like a twisted Brady
I don't know how
bunch.
much time we have, but we do have a lot of those, a lot of pictures that seem to be following us that you picked up last time that we spoke with you.
Yeah. If you want to share
want to
some
bring
of
it
them,
up? Go ahead.
We can spare another 15 minutes or something. Yeah.
Music to our ears.
We can go on for hours. Don't worry.
I think we do.
Yeah. And this one, I usually have to tell him to shut up when I'm thinking I'm catching something.
But I've got more sensitive ears than you. I just tell you.
So this was something that we had shown before, I believe, with this face that was in the window of a shop. But if you go all the way back through our investigations, this is the first time that we picked up this figure in the window.
Oh, I can see it. Yeah,
he's over here.
Mm-hmm. At the top, it's like a skull.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. And you picked that up, Chris, I believe, last time we.
Yeah, the Muppet Granny.
Yes, it is. So this was Ohio State Reformatory in Ohio. this is the location that this was taken at.
Yeah. It's so creepy that, and it's just, you can see like the skeleton. That's quite. Even there's Drew's paranormal vlog. She's saying it's like a skeleton. It's really creepy. That guys. I'm got
this
wee
guy's
dreams
pretty
tonight now
weird.
because of that. Oh.
This guy's if you have any dreams about this guy, let us know, because this one was creepy.
It looks like a skeleton, doesn't it? It's as if you can see its arms, its legs, its hip bones. It's
I was gonna say you can almost see his rib cage in here.
yeah.
Oh no, I'm having flashbacks of my ex.
Got the picture of the elephant that you sent us?
Oh, I know, right? Why does it look like the elephant? I'm trying to flirt with it.
Oh my god!
You did look
watching
pretty
that,
interested in that.
Oh, that's
Yeah, so I don't really know what we touched on last time, but I do remember you guys picked up a few of those things with the skeletons, but we do have some of those SLS pictures there. Very similar to.
This one was interesting too, Derek. This shadow man in the mirror as well.
Yeah.
I thought that was just Dan, who's
there was
out of
nobody
reality
else
as we
in that
speak.
room.
No, I'm paying attention.
He is.
don't go, Dan. Don't go to the other side.
Don't go to the light.
Patrick Swayze will be waiting on you. You know.
Hey, there could be worse things.
Ah.
Well, Don Swayze lives down the road from me. Well, wait. Looks just like him.
Oh.
Was this the first investigation after hours, Derek?
Yes, that's actually the exact one that I was talking about.
Okay. Yeah, this is that
John's
tall
the shorter
entity.
one.
This is. Yep.
That's actually quite a strange one. That is.
Yeah, so this was from the first time we
That's the
investigated
one that I was.
the tattoo show.
Yeah,
It looks
that's
like
the
he's
one I
either
was
punching
referring
him or
to.
grabbing
Actually,
him. It's just a
he
strange one.
he was putting his hand out, kind of like, is this where you?
Yeah,
are
he's
at?
putting
Is
his
this where
hand
you are
out, and it looks like the thing's trying to back away.
Yes, I did. I'm not
Like, I
into
know you.
Honestly, I just don't know. Sometimes I really don't. I can see now why we're called Bald and Bonkers. Oh,
And this was an SLS. I don't know if we had gone over this. This was a pendulum session that we were doing at Twin City Opera House when we were getting Twin City. Yeah, this is me holding the pendulum, sitting in a chair, and then we were getting significant movement on the pendulum, answering questions, and the smaller figure of a child that is frequent to that area was actually, we believe we caught it interacting with the pendulum.
that's actually quite an interesting one. It's as if as it's sitting chilled out. It's like, what's this guy doing with this flashy thing? That's a quite an interesting one. What's that? Drew's Paranormal blog. What's that? 5 Bald and Bonkers tonight. That's
I was
terrible.
about to I see that she's going to correct. I was like, who's seeing double here?
4. She's corrected herself. 4. Yeah. That one of the skeletons freaky as anything, guys. That should be banned.
Oh,
it's just too creepy, yeah. Honestly, guys,
I don't know if you.
Hmm?
That one from the Anchorage, Dan. That one, I'm not sure what it is exactly.
Yeah.
That I think we touched on this last time very briefly, but it looked to me like kind of a woman robe. But I think some of the comments last time were that there was some kind of reflection or something. So I don't know if you want to. I believe it's in the top left there.
I see that.
Yeah.
That's strange, that, isn't it? It does look like a woman with a kind of like a night dress on, doesn't it? You know how they used to wear them maybe in 1800s?
Yeah, so that this
That's
at
where
this
that woman is
location,
seen.
correct. Oops, did I stop sharing?
Sorry, go ahead.
you-
And also, yeah, I like the comment you have there.
What's that? Drew's Paranormal Vlog.
Sorry, Dan, you have hair.
He's
Yeah,
the
stick to
only
ghost
one.
hunting long enough, it falls out.
Apparently
fall
so.
out. It will fall. Honestly, some of that footage tonight, all of it, it's absolutely amazing. But I'm still blown away with the thermal one. You know.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
know?
yeah.
And I'll need to watch this back because I listened to it back in the podcast and I was on actually because I can. I don't know. There's been a few times tonight where something's just went like just it's quite creepy-ish, and Dan's going away again.
Yeah, I definitely
No,
will listen back
Dan!
to that and see
I
if
think
we
it's
can hear
getting
that.
too dark in here. Yes.
Yeah,
It's getting too dark in here.
Yeah, we'll need to have the two of you back again with some more evidence the next time you come
Absolutely.
back. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we're going to Gettysburg in a couple months, so hopefully we have some stuff that happens there that we can share with you.
Oh, that'll be good. That will be
Yeah,
good.
Did you do the
Look forward to
recording
it.
from the one that you weren't at?
Which one?
The Fife and
The audio? The audio.
Yeah. The one that
Did
you
we
hate
show that
before?
one before? Yeah, you're an asshole.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I don't remember.
Blame my dad. I wasn't going to go ghost hunting.
It's fun. Think of the strange things that you'll see, you know? All the strange things.
Oh, it's great. Is it in the video there?
Mm-hmm. No, not video. It should be in recordings.
So you guys, you're getting a lot
We're
of
gonna have
treatment
something
tonight.
talk dirty to us.
Oh, hello.
All right, let me know if you guys can hear
I'm a
this.
specter.
Can you hear the audio?
No.
I can.
I can. It's like drums playing. It's a marching band.
Uh-huh.
I would say from the American Revolution.
Well, this was at
The British.
Gettysburg.
Or Gettysburg.
Yeah.
That's amazing, that.
There we go.
That's a banger right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's. I mean, the people
No,
out
it's
there that
not
don't believe in
whistling.
ghosts.
No.
It's the flute. It's the marching soldiers.
Uh-huh.
It's the. That's amazing. That is.
Mhm.
It makes you wonder if you've maybe caught a slip in time. When you've been investigating, you've maybe caught a slip in time, and you've heard the soldiers
Yeah,
marching
it's
past
actually
playing
that
that.
was
Mm-hmm.
that was one of those ones where we didn't get anything. I thought, until I started reviewing it, and as soon as I heard it, yeah, Drew, I got goosebumps too. I had to start sending off, getting everything right away because I'm like, there was nobody here. I heard nothing when I was in this place, and then we heard
Yeah.
that.
That was spooky. That does it. I don't know. I'm all cold now. I've got goosebumps on me. It's weird because it's like taking you back to when the Civil War was and stuff like that. That's just crazy. Honestly, it is. It's crazy. And guys, if you're listening to this in the podcast, turn the volume high up and listen to it. Honestly, because that is absolutely amazing, guys. You guys are amazing.
Thanks.
I just thought,
Thank you. For
honestly,
that.
honestly, some of the stuff that you guys are capturing is absolutely phenomenal. You are capturing stuff that's actually better than all these ghost hunting shows.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's how. Yeah.
Nice.
Are
we?
I mean,
would you say that we're better than Zach Baggins?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all that
Yeah.
we can ask for.
Yeah. Every house he goes into now is possessed by a demon, seemingly. So
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there must be a lot of demons, because
so many demons.
Well, yeah, everything's got a possession. Everyone's possessed. Everything, But what's that, Drew's Paranormal? It's a 1,000. What's that? 1,000 to 1 chance of that. Yeah. But it makes you wonder what that is. I mean, is it the spirits reliving the battle, or is it a slip in the fabric of time?
Yeah, and that's the question of everything we get, right? I mean, is it something that we are interacting with, or are we just in the right place at the right time to catch that, that window into the other world, and that's
it's fascinating.
So
One day we'll find out, we'll find out the truth, hopefully for me it's another 100 years from now, but
John, the owner of the tattoo shop that we just investigated, he told me, he said, wasn't it going to suck if you die and you realize there's no such thing as ghosts and you think back, what the hell was I doing all of these years? I mean, it's definitely true.
There's that again. I keep getting somebody going, shh, that's weird that. I don't know if it's me. Can you hear that, Dakota?
Well, I heard a little bit of an echo, but that was about it on that one.
It's maybe just me. It's maybe because I'm slightly sensitive. I don't know what it is. I'm getting that quite a bit. Now, before we go, guys. But anyway, I have to work for this.
Take it easy there, Chong.
I know. Before we go, guys, please check out those links for Ukraine, because what's happening over there is just terrible, and hopefully it'll maybe get fixed soon. But then again, probably not. The way the world's going, I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Maybe. What's that?
I was just putting in the link.
Check out Parapost Network too, guys. It's really
we're
good.
syndicated through them now, but I was just showing the link for the charity. Like I said, there's a lot of nasty stuff going on. Thankfully, right now Ukraine's putting up a lot more of a fight than Russia was expecting. So kudos to them, but they're still going to need all the help they can get after this mess is over.
Because they'll have to rebuild, and you think of all the kids that have been killed, think of all the civilians that have been killed, think of all the soldiers that have been killed, and it's so sad. It really is so sad. And I was watching it today, and there was buildings getting attacked. Did any of you see the video of the guy that got run over by the tank?
Mm-hmm.
And he survived that. I just don't know how that's possible. I mean, that was deliberate. You can see it was deliberate. The guy didn't need to veer across that way, and it's you would think in the year 2022 that wouldn't happen, But time will tell, guys. So, guys, from Iron City Paranormal, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having us, guys, and thank you for listening to our story, but also thank you for supporting this stuff, like the supporting the Ukraine, because this is terrible, and hopefully it's the last time we see this in our lives. But I'm gonna guess it's not going to be.
I know.
I don't think no.
No, it's we got into a bit of a discussion. There's a lot of these younger kids out there saying, "Oh, why is the U.S. wanting to get involved?" Last time we had something, especially here on the U.S. side, last time we had something happen, I was 5 years old when it was the September 11th attacks. Something that would want us to drive into war. And right now, our officials aren't doing jack to really help the situation. And
We-
first off, there's also one thing I do want to know, because I do have some friends who are of Russian descent.
Yeah.
This is not on the people of Russia. They're not wanting this
No.
as much as we're not wanting this.
Mhm.
This is all Putin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, he's a madman for sure.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I mean, I tell the kids that are watching this, and the younger ones that are watching this, if you think about it, if we let him away with this, right, he'll think he can take Poland. Then he'll take their. That's what Hitler did, guys. That's what Hitler did. And look, he nearly took over the world. Do you want this to
Putin's
happen again? If you keep ignoring it, you know.
Putin's never made his intentions a secret. He's always wanted to bring back the Soviet Union. And finally he said, you know what? I'm going to do it. And right now, because none of us were wanting to pay attention, we're getting a lot of innocent people are paying the price.
Yep. I mean, it just, if we don't do nothing soon, it's going to send a message out there to like maybe China that's wanting to invade Taiwan. And they might do it. And then Russia will be thinking, oh, you know, Ukraine was a bit hard one, you know, but the West never stopped me. So I think we'll go for Poland next. And I honestly think if we don't do nothing now, something really bad's going to happen. But people are afraid to do stuff. They're like, oh, what happens if we go and help them and it starts with World War III? What happens if we don't help them? Eventually the war will start. Eventually it'll be our borders.
Where does it stop? That's exactly it.
Yeah. It's madness, because that Putin, he's one of the most wealthiest people in the world. He's got 8 super yachts. He's got private jets. He's got something like $80 billion, right? Why can he not just retire and go and live out his happy life? I mean, I'd be happy with $80 billion. But no, he wants to cause terribleness to the world, killing kids, killing civilians. All for what? So as he can say, oh look, I'm restarting the empire again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So guys, please tune in tomorrow for Contact. So it should be a very interesting show. So I know I messed up my words there, is that? But anyway, Dakota, have you got a back trailer now, Dakota?
No, I haven't had a chance to make a new one.
No?
But like I just said, just remember, ladies and gentlemen, we do have all sorts of new projects coming up, especially with Contact tomorrow. And we'll have a little bit something more to try to raise more funds. I know Parapost Network is trying to put something together to help raise funds. Who's been in the paranormal for quite some time, we all know that once stuff like this happens in the world, more negative stuff starts coming out. So we got to help each other out the best we can.
Right, guys, without further ado, we'll catch you tomorrow night, and take care. Bye, guys.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Thanks, everybody.